The mainstream media and the Democrats are cheaters. They were cheaters in 2016, and they're cheaters again. Andrew Yang in the debates last night. I was so excited for this. I briefly mentioned this a little bit on my main channel video. Super excited to hear Andrew Yang, and the reason for it is not because I agree with everything he says. I do agree with a lot of what he says, but Andrew Yang is a common sense individual running as a Democrat. I have tremendous respect for him. He seems like a cool guy who's genuine and honest. He's crossed party lines. You know, he's had conversations with Ben Shapiro. He's gone on Joe Rogan. And I think he's really interested in having a legitimate conversation about what he thinks is important. That I will always give respect to, because too much of our world is fake, and you'll hear me talk about it. Every PR statement's nonsense. It's a lie. People are, there's so many liars and cheaters who succeed, because guess what? Cheaters win. They'll want to tell you it's not true. They'll say, no, cheaters don't win. Yes, they do. Andrew Yang is not a cheater. Andrew Yang, at least to me, comes off as a genuine guy who wants to present his ideas. And if you don't think they're good ideas, you are in your right to do so and challenge him. I don't think every one of his ideas is a good idea either, but I think he's genuine. Well, guess what? Andrew Yang says microphone was not on at times during the Democratic debate. I am going to say straight up, I watched it, I noticed some weird stuff, and I would be willing to bet a lot of money his mic was cut off, and there's video evidence that suggests that may be the case. Of course, there's always weird, it's potentially something else. Now, people are claiming it's a conspiracy theory, but there is a video where Andrew Yang is talking and you hear nothing. And it's really weird. Many of the Democrats interjected and butted in. When Andrew Yang tries, you hear nothing. Apparently, Andrew Yang gave a statement to supporters after the debate. People were upset he didn't talk enough. I was upset watching the debate because Yang didn't seem to be chiming in, and they weren't going to ask many questions. And so I'll say this. Much respect to Kirsten Gillibrand for butting in as much as she did. I detest her politics so much. She is an identitarian. She has tried riding the wave of identitarianism to get ahead. It doesn't work. I think look, I'll leave it there. I detest her politics. But she pushed back, and she was right to do so. She wasn't even in the top individuals getting a chance to speak, but she jumped in whenever she could to speak. I respect her for that. You need strength to be a president. So again, much respect to Kirsten Gillibrand for stepping up, even though I disagree. I wish Andrew Yang would have pushed a lot harder than he did, but it seems like when he tried, what happened? No sound came out. And so he said to supporters that he tried chiming in, and literally nothing happens, and no one hears anything, and he goes, oh, F, like, this is happening. My mic's not on. Swear to God. Check it out. From The Hill. It's getting a lot of shares. Andrew Yang was trending #1 in the US, and earlier today, #2, hashtag let Yang speak, because they cut his mic off. They deny it, but they're cheaters, okay? I'm not surprised. The Hill reports Democratic presidential candidate Andrew Yang claimed his microphone was not on a few times when he attempted to jump in during Thursday night's Democratic debate in Miami. There were also a few times, FYI, where I just started talking, being like, hey, I want to add something here, and my mic was not on, Yang said while speaking to supporters after the event. And it's this sort of thing where it's like, if you started talking, it takes over the conversation. It's like I was talking, but nothing was happening, and I was like, oh, F. So that happened a bit too. The allegation from the tech entrepreneur comes as an analysis by The Hill shows Yang had the least amount of speaking time of all the 20 candidates who participated in the 2 nights of debates that took place Wednesday and Thursday. We get it. You guys want to put Warren and Joe Biden up front and center, and Bernie Sanders. Okay, but I want to hear what Yang has to say. He's a true outsider who has a bunch of unique ideas that need to be heard because, listen, when you follow a path with no diversity of thought, everybody just agrees with each other and says the same nonsense. Yang truly comes in with something out of, just out of left field, as it were. Let's hear him speak. I want to hear him address these same policies. Now, for sure, don't get me wrong. Andrew Yang raised his hand to saying he'd give undocumented immigrants health care, and I think that's pandering absurdity. It makes no sense. Plain and simple, it makes no sense. Fine. But I want to hear him challenge all of these other notions. He's not a politician, okay? He's an entrepreneur. That puts him kind of in a similar space to where Trump is. I want to hear what he has to say. They say NBC later pushed back on Yang's claim, telling The Hill at no point during the debate was any candidate's microphone turned off or muted. Oh, really? So are you saying it's an elaborate hoax that Andrew Yang was speaking, like he was just mouthing words with nothing, and he wasn't trying to talk? There's video I have where you see Andrew Yang go, Okay, for those that are listening, basically, I'm lifting my hand and then mouthing words without making sound. It works really well on video. I really doubt Andrew Yang pretended not to speak so he could later claim that his microphone was cut off. In fact, some people claim you can actually faintly hear him from the other microphones. But you've seen it throughout the debate. Kirsten Gillibrand jumps in and you hear her perfectly. And they start, oh, your time is up, we'll get to you. And she keeps talking. Again, I have tremendous respect for that. It's not a debate. We know it's not a debate. They're doing it for the ratings, so you've got to claw ahead if you want to get any airtime. And I respect the strength. I wish Andrew Yang did the same, but apparently when he tried, it didn't work. So they pushed back. The Hill says, Yang clocked in at just 2 minutes and 50 seconds of speaking time. Former Vice President Joe Biden, the front runner in most polls, had 12 minutes and 53 seconds. Kamala Harris had 11 minutes 37. And then they say Bernie Sanders, Pete Buttigieg were the only other candidates to top 10 minutes. Marianne Williamson, bless her heart, her Twitter account is incredible. If you haven't looked at it, people are surfacing tweets from Marianne Williamson, and they are some of the funniest, hokey, crystal-wearing things you have ever heard. There's a viral tweet right now, it's hilarious, where someone said, step 1, Marianne Williamson was kind of, was definitely not boring during the debate. Step 2, wow, she's still here, she's definitely pushing through. Step 3, something like, wow, you see her on Jimmy Fallon tonight? She's really got a presence. Step 4, President Williamson's crystal. I have reservations about President Williamson's crystal tariffs. Because her tweets are like, there's one where she said, your life is like a lamp and let God's light fill your lamp and pass through you. Just like a bunch of weird self-help, hokey, crystal wearing kind of stuff. Anyway, I've got some stuff I want to show, so I don't want to prattle about Williamson. I'm not trying to be mean to her. They say Eric Swalwell, respectively, clocking in at 4 minutes 50 seconds, 24 seconds. So they updated with a statement from NBC claiming that no, at no point was his microphone cut off. I might get a copyright claim for this one, but this is really important context. This is a video posted by someone named Alacrity Thief titled "Proof Andrew Yang's Microphone Was Muted at Dem Debate." So, I'm not going to play this because I do not want to deal with MSNBC. Look, they file fake complaints all the time. And we're in a really precarious situation on YouTube. But I will say this. I've tweeted this out. You can go check it out. What we're looking at right now is the debate stage. And we can see Andrew Yang's hand is up. Basically what happened was someone made a statement. And you can see right here, his mouth is open. He was talking. You know what? I'm just going to play it. Actually, no. I'm sorry, guys. I can't risk... They'll do a copyright strike takedown or something. They took down live streams of people who are streaming the debate and having conversations about it. It's better that the video stays up and I can explain what they did to Yang than it gets taken down and no one knows about it. So I'm not going to play it. But you can see in this paused clip I have, Yang does have his mouth open, and I assure you, no sound came out. So when Yang says there were a couple times I tried speaking and his microphone was off, I doubt he had this elaborate plan. I made the joke on Twitter he's playing 4D chess. By saying nothing and not being called upon, Andrew Yang secured himself as the top U.S. trend. Like, Yang was trending and Marianne Williamson were trending. I don't know why she was trending, but Yang was trending because they cut his mic off. So we have this video from him where he said, some reflections on my first debate. First, very glad to have the chance to represent on stage. Truly a privilege, and thank you for making it happen. Second, I feel bad for those who tuned in to see and support me that I didn't get more airtime. Will do better. My mic being off, unless called on, didn't help. And glad to have another opportunity in July and afterwards. They cheated Bernie Sanders in a variety of ways, and there's clever ways you can do it. I believe that, here's my position. Andrew Yang is a common sense Democrat. He is on the Democrat side. He leans left on a lot of his policy positions, and for that, I support him because I agree with some. But mostly that he has a very comprehensive domestic policy plan. Incredible, better than anyone else. Go to his website, and you're like, dude, I can't even read. I don't even have time to read all his positions. He's really thought about this. I think he really cares. Tulsi Gabbard, on the other hand, is one of the only people addressing the foreign policy position in a way that I think is principled and makes sense. That's why I threw my support behind them. It doesn't mean I agree with everything they say. That you'll never agree with every politician. I absolutely, contest his raising his hand for providing health care to undocumented immigrants. But my position to my friends was that Yang is going to explode in popularity. When Bernie was running against Hillary, there was like 3 people. So Bernie ended up getting a lot of the limelight. With Yang, there's a huge field. But I believe Yang is a genuine individual with real principles, and he's going to rise in popularity because of it. But they're going to steal it from him and from Tulsi. They're both very popular, and they have a certain charisma about them. Tulsi is incredible. Like, she has presence, she is poised, she is practiced, she is a major in the National Guard, I believe. She served overseas. She's got the resume, and she's got the principles. So, of course, they're not going to call on her, and she was the only candidate to get directly attacked. They directly attacked her on the stage in the first night. And Yang, of course, an outsider who's bringing new ideas and a real comprehensive policy package, they're going to cut his mic. So look, they deny it. We'll call it an allegation, but I assure you, I tweeted this video out. You can see it. It's hard. Look, here's the conspiracy theory from the people who are denying it. Do you really believe that Andrew Yang pretended to try to speak so that he could later claim they cut his mic off? That's insane. You can see the man speaking and you can hear nothing. The Democrats, the DNC, the media companies, they're going to cheat. They cheated last time. Why wouldn't they cheat again? I think Biden's going to lose. I do. I don't think he's going to get the nomination. I think he's there as a representation of old guard. They're going to prop him up so that every Democrat can see him, but then tear him down with someone like Kamala Harris, like they did, so that all of the old Democrats who know Joe Biden and would vote for him will be like, oh, that's why I'll vote for Kamala. But I'll end by saying one thing. Two things, actually. Like I pointed out in my main channel video, a Washington Post reporter saying they overheard someone say that they weren't sure if they were Democrats anymore. I can respect that sentiment. I don't know who I'd vote for. Tulsi, look, my position was to the left of the Democrats 10 years ago. It mostly stayed in a similar position, but the Democrats have veered so far left, I'm now to the right of them, even though I was to the left of Obama. It's a really weird position to be in. So yeah, I do respect and agree with a lot of the positions that Tulsi Gabbard takes, though I am more of a moderate, right? I am more of only slightly to the left. Actually, I'd probably say I moved a little to the right in the past few years and a little down closer towards libertarian. It's a weird position to be in. But I think when you grow up and you learn and you research, your opinions start to shift a little bit. I got to make sure I don't take this one too long. But I will say this. Andrew Yang got the short end of the stick. Tulsi Gabbard did as well. But I will give advice to every candidate. And Gillibrand is the only one who recognized this. You have to take it. They're not going to give it to her. She's polling really low. They put Bernie and Biden front and center and give them most of the questions. So you know what? If we're going to have anyone have the ability to stand up to Trump, and all the Trump supporters know this, none of these people have the strength to do it. None of them. But I will say this. Kirsten Gillibrand at least showed she's willing to push back and take the reins. She's probably... I disagree with... actually, you know what? Let me do this. I think Bernie is okay, but I believe he's lying and pandering. I like Yang better than anybody else on the stage. Gillibrand is closer to the bottom in terms of whose politics I might agree with because she goes full-on identitarian. But regardless of that, being president is about more than just your political positions. It's about being strong enough to lead the country. None of these people showed any real strength, in my opinion, except for Gillibrand. And that's shocking because I've criticized her heavily. But I will say straight up, Joe Biden got torn down by Warren. By Harris. Not Warren. Elizabeth. Oh my God, I'm getting their names. By Kamala Harris. She tore him down. But she didn't do it in a way that I thought was strong. She used her time to make pointed emotional attacks. Not gonna work on Trump. So, look, Democrats, you've got to figure out how to play the game. And Marianne Williamson did say this. You think policy positions will get you past Trump? Never gonna happen. Trump doesn't play that game. And it's one of the reasons he won. Democrats better wake up and learn how to actually present strength at the debates. I don't think Gillibrand has the strength to beat Trump, but at least she showed something better than the rest of them. And I hope Yang can stand up. I think one of the problems, too, is Yang doesn't have the same, he's not going to throw a fit. He's not going to yell and interrupt. You got to do it, man. You got to step up. I'll leave it there. Stick around. I got one more video coming up in a few minutes. I will see you there.